Street, never.
All right.
Do you want to start?
I'll tell you what, we'll start, as Brian suggested, with the non-controversial ones, and then any ones that take further discussion, we'll come back to those. Ones that I anticipate may require additional discussion. How will we do it that way? All right. Resolution 123. This is authorizing the city to apply for a Tiger 7 grant in the amount of $12.5 million. There's a listing of all of the projects that the grant would fund. This is the third time, I believe, that we will now apply for this grant. So, that's right.
Tiger 3, Tiger 5.
That's right.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Any questions? Concerns? Okay.
Good, I think that's non-controversial.
There we go. All right. We got one down. Resolution 124. This is in regards to authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with the signalization over at Chester Street and Flatbush Avenue. It's going to cost us an amount of approximately an additional $300,000. I think it's an additional $300,000. Is that correct, or is it a total of $300,000? Do you remember, Marianne?
Total.
Okay. So, any questions? Any concerns? All right. And Resolution 125 is the bond ordinance. As a reminder to everyone, bond ordinance is takes 6 votes. Any questions, concerns?
No, actually, this is.
Just so you know, although Deb will not be here, you still need the 2/3 of the people who are here. And of the whole council. Of the whole council. You still need 6 votes. Notwithstanding the fact that somebody's not.
Okay. Resolution 126. This is to do a curb cut at the parking lot down on the Fair Street extension. It's an amount of $20,000. It's over at the former Uptown parking garage site. Questions? Concerns?
That's just for the curb cut, that's not for any of the repair on the stairs?
No, it's not for the repair on the stairs. That's a separate resolution talking about going out to bid.
Right, because Ralph went back to get figures on the stairs. That will come to finance next Wednesday. I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, great. And then Resolution 127 is the bond in support of Resolution 126 for the curb cut. Resolution 128 and Resolution 129, which is the bond ordinance, but they're in relation to authorizing $50,000 for to deal with drainage problems in a variety of places throughout the city, and it's just to give them that those resources to be able to go around in the city and address some of these drainage problems. And I think we probably all have areas in our ward that have this problem. And, I think out of the committee, we thought that this was a good step forward. So, any questions or concerns about either Resolution 128 or 129? All right. Brad, here's Resolution 130 regarding authorizing the engineer to do a design and go out to bid for the stairs for the Uptown parking garage site. So, and then we'll.
So we're hopeful to have some figures.
All right, and we'll have some figures, and I'll take next steps after that. Questions, concerns? Everybody's good with it? Good. Resolution 123. This is authorizing us to spend. What did I say? What did I say? I said 123. You did. Well, let me scratch that out. Resolution 131. I'm glad everyone's paying attention. This is money we received from a FEMA grant to authorize repairs and restoration of 12 Skills Stream Bay. And there's a zero financial impact to the city. Questions? No. All right. Resolution 132. This is reallocating grant money from the New York DEC. And it's reallocating $22,500. And on page 3 of your packet there, the document, it indicates the 5 items that will be fixed or repaired or modified, whatever it may be, in relation to the grant money. Any questions? Concerns? Okay. I'm going to skip resolutions 133 and 134. That's the land bank and the resolution regarding the amending the charter. We'll skip to 135. 135, this is simply accepting a report, which hopefully you all read, regarding the evaluation for retiree medical benefits. The one thing that John Toohey did point out, for those of you who weren't there, that there's a significant cost going forward for retirees, and so when we negotiate contracts, just have to be aware about that future impact on the city, because the costs are significant, so something just to be aware of. So all we're doing is we're just accepting the report with resolution 135. Resolution 136, it's I think the simplest way to explain it is authorizing a bond to pay bonds from the past so that we can save money in the future. Is that fair, Marianne?
That's
Do you have
fair.
anything else to add to that? No?
I'm on board with that.
And these are bonds from, I think, what, 2006? Yeah,
2005 and 2006.
Yeah. So, and we'll save a...
cheaper credit cards,
Yeah.
so you put on down little credit.
Exactly.
You all do
Where
it
raise
all.
the interest rates go.
Right, then you got another.
Makes your
Well,
credit
they don't
rating
do
good,
that
yeah.
anymore. Oh my God. You do all that for that.
Resolution 137, this is for no parking anytime on Progress, Greenkill Avenue, and you'll see where the,
It's just not here.
yeah, you see where
And
it's
this needs to be
located.
omitted.
This came from
It's wrong.
Bill Perry. Any questions,
Is
concerns?
that circulated?
What, resolution 137? You should have it, it was an additional handout, it was attached to
It's
your
attached to
agenda.
your agenda.
Oh, okay.
I'm back to that then. Thank you. Let's change progress to green.
So,
Dee said that she's just going to have that paragraph omitted.
Yeah, progress. Progress.
Yeah, so-
That's a long project.
That is.
Boulevard project.
Yeah, that is.
I don't have anything. So, I'd like to do, why don't we deal, so we have Liz Cahill here, and then we also have an issue that we have to go into executive session for. So, I'd like to address those two issues first, and then we'll come back to resolutions 133 and 134. Okay.
And I have an additional resolution, the finance committee has to meet on the evening.
On the easement, and that's the executive session
Yes.
piece, right? So we'll deal with, I know that, right. So why don't we deal with all that together, and then we'll come back to the caucus and things. Does that work? Okay. So I know Liz Cahill is here. I don't know if you want to call your special finance now, or you want to hear from her, if she's here tonight.
Sure, and I didn't know she was coming,
Yeah.
so.
No.
Okay, we'll call it special finance meeting.
Sure.
In session, Liz, you want to come speak to
Sure.
your?
Where should I go?
I'm good here.
Right here's fine.
You can have my seat and,
Andy's.
I'll take Andrew's.
okay.
What's more important?
I'm sorry, I wasn't made aware of that you're going to be here tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I live on Highland Avenue, and if anybody's familiar, it's really steep hill, lots of accidents all winter long there. On January 18th, we were parked in front of our house, both myself and my son, and there was no snow on the ground, no precipitation when we parked our cars. And we heard the trucks coming through at around, I'm not sure, in the evening, and we went out and looked, and it was sleeting out. There was no real warning, no state of emergency. We looked out, and the truck had, we heard a bang, truck had slid across the street and hit a telephone pole, and ended up facing back down the hill. He had been going up the hill. So we go out and say, don't try to move because you're going to slide right into our vehicles. We couldn't move because our neighbors were parked in front of their house. We would have slid into their vehicles. But he waited a few minutes. I guess he called for help because then another truck came, which was another whole accident, hit some other vehicle. But he proceeded to slide into our two vehicles. We put the claim into the city within a few days. We had an estimate the same day, next day that it happened. We brought that in, photographs, and it got turned down by your insurance saying he didn't act recklessly. in my mind, he did act recklessly. We told him, don't try to do this, you're gonna slide down the hill. When we live there, we see about 20 trucks and cars a winter sliding down the hill, so we know probably better than the guy riding up the hill. But he did it anyway, and it caused a lot of damage to our vehicles. So I'm here to try to get the city to pay for it. I submitted estimates and the photographs way back in January.
Yeah.
April, we got the letter saying
We
insurance
discussed it in
company.
finance.
We did.
And they wanted her to come for caucus. That
But
was-
nobody told me.
You read that finance, right?
Yeah, it's not finance. That we
Well,
were
Debbie-
gonna,
That was Debbie's suggestion, that we have her come in caucus and discuss it. Because she had an issue with an exact bill.
and I have no problem with it.
Right. So we don't
And
have a
there's way you
bill.
don't have a bill if you don't have the work.
Right, it costs, it's over $5,000 worth of damage, so until we get it repaired, I mean, nobody's gonna do it for us without the money. The estimates they gave me were actual insurance estimates, so it's the same as if I sent it to an insurance company, it's per hour, per part, paint, labor,
And the
parts.
finance committee consists of myself, Brad, Matt, and Elisa.
Okay, all right.
Just so, you're just not speaking to me,
All right.
it's the
All right.
entire
So
finance committee.
that's what we submitted from a licensed repair garage, the
I think-
insurance estimates, and until we have the money, we can't get the work done. I mean, my son's a 22-year-old college student, so he certainly doesn't have and his car got the brunt of it.
So you've been without use of one vehicle since
No,
January?
no, he can use it, but we probably, the whole back end is smashed. I don't know where the pictures are at this point, but the back end is pretty smashed. We have the headlight in with duct tape, and we don't let him drive it at night because the light goes out randomly, like it'll be out now because it's raining tonight. So we put a new bulb in, and he can drive it for a couple of days. But yeah, it's pretty smashed up. He got it about 6 months before that, spent a lot of his money on it, and
And so did you submit a claim to your insurance company back? in
he doesn't
January?
have collision on cars. He's a 22-year-old college student.
Yes?
Andy, I think I asked you this because Liz in my ward and we discussed it now.
Yeah.
Now, when the insurance company, when they decline, we don't really have a recourse to go after the insurance. I mean,
We have
that's
no-
not part of what we can
Yeah,
do.
let me explain it. We have no authority under our policy to direct them to make a payment. Under any circumstance. You can decide to pay the claim, but we have no authority to do it. That's the terms of our policy. They can defend or reject. The basis of their rejection, as they do in almost all their cases involving when weather's involved, is that the state law says that there's no liability on the part of the municipality when there's and it doesn't have to be a declared emergency, when an emergency vehicle is involved. That has been interpreted to include snow clearing, fire trucks, and the standard, this is right, the standard is recklessness, or gross negligence, anyway, not negligence. So while we could be liable for, a garbage truck backing into somebody, as soon as there's a snow situation, the clearing snow. You had a similar case up in the first ward, I think, last year, where the truck went by and knocked off a mirror, and I explained the same thing to you. Hey, that's the insurance company's call, not ours. You can do whatever you want. With you, and it's, and even though the insurance company, because we have a deductible, that would have been our money anyway. I was in court this week on a claim. The judge required me to be there, even though we had already expended our deductible, and he got the case settled, and the insurance company paid it. But we have no authority to direct them to pay it. Your ability is to pay it or not pay it. It's up to you. But it was right. The problem is that they won't accept any claims under any emergency. It doesn't have to be a declared emergency vehicle. There's no declared emergency when a fire truck goes down the street. That's emergency. Snow is always considered emergency. But you have the right to pay it or not pay it. That's up to you. And I think, this is the year asking you to pay it.
Okay.
And that's your decision you can make.
I mean, we were parked in front of our house.
Yeah.
We weren't out riding because it was, the weather wasn't appropriate.
By the way, there's no factual issue about whether the truck hit the cable.
Right, there's no question.
That's
They
not
even
an
said
issue.
they acknowledged that the truck hit it, it's just that he didn't act in reckless disregard.
I have no problem writing a committee report to pay this expense. Does anybody else from the finance committee have any comment on that?
No, that's fine. I think that makes sense. I think that, pay the expense and resolve the claim. So, assuming.
Is it reasonable to ask that you get a few estimates, just so we have,
I can do that. However, the garage I went to said that it's an insurance process where you put in the work in the computer and it spits out how many hours you can charge for that work, that it's a standard formula.
just I know all garages don't work on the same.
Well, this is a New York State
Yeah,
insurance.
no, I understand what you, we saw that, but I
Right,
just,
and that's who's gonna do the work, this garage.
okay,
Because I'm not gonna take it to somebody I don't know.
right. Okay. Up to you guys.
I just think it's the right thing to do. I don't want to be part from my house and get hit and then, you
Yeah,
know,
that's not
grab
the
lots.
issue. Might not be so expensive, you know.
Oh. You have committee report?
This has been since January.
January 18th,
I'm sorry.
to finish the whole semester.
Working hard at school for the value anyway,
Liz, what was the total? Because I don't have my
For
paperwork.
my car is $1,108.48.
And for the second car?
$4,366.16.
Are we looking to take this from contingency then?
Got any other places?
I'm just,
Well, this is an insurance claim, so possibly it would come out of our insurance coverage.
Well,
I mean,
usually,
that's kind of what they would have done originally, right? Going to court or something.
Do it out of
You can take it out of judgment.
Yeah,
judgment and claims.
that makes sense. Yeah. Contingency.
Sounds better. Makes us feel just a little better.
Oh, don't you worry. Don't you worry.
That didn't sound good, right? At least it's coming from us, all right? It's like a long way.
It's a nice house now.
Yeah.
We do have vouchers here, because if anybody's dying to sign vouchers.
What was the closest?
We have, there's one packet that needs to stay in order, this packet, and that packet is less important. And then once we vote on this committee report, we'll go into an executive session, so we'll clear the room for corp counsel and council members.
Okay, so the committee report reads as to reimburse Liz Cahill the amount of $5,474.63 for damage to two vehicles on Highland Avenue by snowplow car, attached documents to be reimbursed through judgment and claims. Estimated financial impact, $5,474.63.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Does somebody want to act on behalf of that?
Sure, I will.
Okay. And I have the attachments at home that I'll get put on that.
Okay.
Or do you have them? You
The
contact.
claim, yeah, we
Yeah.
still have, well,
Okay.
claim.
So I'll give you the committee
If you did
report
this,
and
and
then
I'll
you can attach
attach.
it. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
She doesn't have any new
Thank you.
comments, right, other than what she submitted to us
No,
already?
no.
Okay. Okay.
So after we exit out of executive session, resolve the finance, then we'll come back to the rest of the caucus matters.
So the report has passed the committee. And
Thank
will be
you.
voted on tomorrow night.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Take it easy. You want to pass this to Dee?
Brad.
Brad.
Oh, you did say that.
Yep.
I have an idea what goes on, just hearing the
Would you
call.
take these
You want
out,
a motion
please?
for executive session?
Would you take those out, please? What?
Motion.
Did you call?
You want to
Motion?
executive session?
What?
I was just waiting for the motion.
All in favor?
For the purpose of resolving, or discussing a settlement for an easement.
Adjourning your meeting to consult with your executive officer.
Yeah, really.
Thank you. Just give me a few minutes to shut it down.